suffering from the so-called Havana syndrome is the disparity in acknowledgement and also treatment dependent on the country in which they were
transparent with
attacked.
us about what's going on with those attacks and getting to the
not
bottom of who's responsible and sharing that information with Congress and with the public where it's appropriate.
Care
Still
available to
frustrating,
employees and families who've been
head
affected by
scratcher that we haven't been able to figure that out.
And then frustrating is a good word because a number of State Department personnel have expressed frustration about what they maintain are actions by the department leadership to either deny them or family members affected by this access to proper medical care.
Episode 2: Helplessness.
Hey, Junie. So, I've been researching all I can about Havana syndrome. Obviously, it's only the things that are publicly available. I know I'm not, like, an investigative journalist or podcast true crime host or whatever, but this whole thing is weird. I'm sure you know all of this, but let me talk it out. No one else wanted to hear it, but you've always listened to me. You've always been good at listening. Probably why you're a spy. Okay, so Havana syndrome started in, well, Havana, Cuba, right? Right after everything was opening up under the Obama administration. Then, around that first year, these diplomats and intelligence officers start hearing this high-pitched noise in their homes, offices, whatever. They have splitting headaches, they have disorientation, nausea, vertigo. They go to the docs and they clearly have brain damage. Someone even says their doctors told them their scans made it look like their brains aged 20 years. That's horrible enough, right? So, they go to the State Department, or the CIA in your case, I guess, and tell them about what's going on. And surprise, surprise, most of these people are women, and they aren't taken seriously at first. Eventually it gets all the way to Congress. Senators start asking about it. Marco Rubio had a whole thing about it. Of course, he represents all the right-wing Cubans who want anything to say about why we shouldn't be opening things up with Cuba. But that's a whole other story. Well, maybe it's related? That's not my wheelhouse. I'm not the Menendez with the poli-sci degree. Anyways, so they start investigating. It's concluded that it's real, and now Congress has passed workman's comp. Obviously, under the last president, Cuban relations sunk, but that's the gist of it. The thing that gets me, though, Junie, is that there are records of other diplomats and intelligence officers getting Havana syndrome all over the place, not just Cuba. I cornered Dad this morning when he was coming back from his workout. I asked if he knew where you were stationed, like, really stationed, not your cover. And, well, he said you were truthful about that. Cambodia. That's got me thinking, right? That maybe you're one of those people who didn't get proper treatment because you didn't hear the sound in Cuba. You were on the other side of the planet. Is that why you quit the CIA? I don't blame you, Junie. That's screwed up. Everyone deserves medical care. And there's a whole thing you mentioned about the farm. Just a sec. Talk later. Love you. Bye.
Voice note sent.
Lupe blew me off. No one is willing to talk to me. Mom and Dad have been on her case too. She was the one who knocked. She asked me to take Mark and go get food. It's not like we don't have leftovers. I'm not stupid. She just wanted the 2 civilians out of the house. Like, yeah, I get it. I'm the baby. But I'm 21 years old. I'm an adult, okay? I make my own food in bed now. I have plant babies. Ugh, that reminds me. I need to text Rachelle to make sure she's been following my instructions. Hold.
Voice note sent.
Mind if I join you?
Yes. Has she contacted you at all?
Oh, yeah. Just FaceTimed her. I told her about how good the mojo pork was this year, and she told me how she made a Faraday cage out of chicken wire and twine to keep the assassins from tracking her location.
Lupe, it's not funny.
Don't ask stupid questions then.
You're stupid.
You're stupid.
Are you even trying to contact her?
There's no point.
What about the thing she told you in her voice memo? What did that mean?
I don't know. And it doesn't matter. She's obviously gone nuts.
She's her sister. She's in trouble. What if she needs your help?
And get arrested for it? No, D. Junie is on her own, just like she always wanted. What, are you trying to contact her?
Well, at least to show that one of us cares what's going on.
Ugh, your voice essays are not going to entice her back. In fact, they'll probably ensure she doesn't. It's not just the FBI, Dee. There are probably international intelligence agencies who figured this out. And who knows who else Junie told about all this. They are listening to everything we say and do. We're in trouble now, too. It's not like Juniper ran away from home with a little parcel on her back, and it's just a matter of talking her down. This is serious, Dee. Don't you get it? She's had a complete mental breakdown. Or at the very least, is playing a very ill-advised game of global cat and mouse, and that is not at all what I plan to be in the middle of. Screw Junie for dropping this on our heads. Let her clean up her own mess.
That's not fair.
No one cares.
I do.
Mom wants you and Mark to go pick up food for lunch.
Why me?
Just do it. My God, you're still such a child.
Maybe stop treating me like one.
Mark is already waiting in the car.
Maggie's already waiting in the car. Asshole.
Hey, Dimitri. Got a sec? I have a question about your money plant. Did you want me to remove the dead leaves?
Which one? The one on the left or on the windowsill? Actually, just FaceTime me. Hey.
Hey, friendo. So, this is the one I'm talking about. There's some yellow ones at the bottom. Want me to remove them?
Just the dried up ones. That's fine.
Cool. Okay, how about the ones in the soil? These leaves. Did you want me to toss them?
No. Don't move them.
Oh, okay. Why?
They're propagating. You see those little specks on the corner of the leaves? Little roots? It's like those air plants. You can plant more of them.
Oh, neat. Yeah, okay. What do you want me to do with them then?
Did you water the soil already?
Yeah.
Just leave them be. Get it? Leave.
Please. Yeah, sorry. Holly is on a cleaning spree for Friendsgiving and wanted me to tidy in here a bit. How's your Thanksgiving been?
Some family drama, actually. I'll tell you more when I get home.
See, this is why Friendsgiving is better, my dude.
We'll see.
Oh, and Holly wanted me to tell you she's talking with the Grove hiring manager. I think you're a shoo-in, but I'm just the marketing guy. You'll be back home next week, right?
Yeah. I mean, I got a shift on Monday, so hopefully I can go home by then.
Is your family holding you hostage or something? 'Cause you know I'll come get you if you need.
It's not that. Listen, I can't go into any more details than this. It's kind of sensitive. But my sister is missing.
Oh, what? Lupe's missing?
No, the one you haven't met. Juniper. Seriously, Rachelle, I'm pretty sure I can't tell you anything else over the phone. The cops are involved.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'll let you go then. Let me know if you need anything, okay?
Thanks, Rachelle.
You got it, bud. Talk soon.
Plants are okay. I've got this new orchid that I know is just about comfortable enough to bloom. Hopefully she'll be out and proud by the time I get back to Orlando. Sorry, I thought I was on a whole rant about our dear Lupita. I know y'all were like cats and dogs most days, but wow, she's on another level right now. On your level, now that I think about it. Tight-lipped. But then again, you know Lupe. She may be frothing at the bit, or planning to take your head off when you show up again. But that just means she cares. A lot. Jesus, Junie, could you respond? Like once? Just, I don't know, an emoji. Poop emoji if you're okay, you piece of shit. No, seriously. I'm outside on the swing set, the one at the new house in Miami. Mom and Dad's hope for grandkids. Remember back in Italy, that park where Lupe scraped the hell out of her knee because that one big kid was egging her on to jump off the swing higher and higher? I barely remember it myself. What was I, like 4? I just remember Lupita crying and bleeding. It was terrifying. You looked guilty. It didn't make sense at the time because Lupe said that neighbor kid was the one who was orchestrating the whole thing. Now that I'm older, I think you and Lupe were competing again and it went too far. Well, talk later. Love you. Bye.
Voice note sent.
Lupe and Mark have just left for their flight back to Vancouver. They got the okay from, well, someone. Before she left, I asked her again about what she knew was going on. Who the company was, if it was the CIA. She just said, and I quote, "Don't take this the wrong way, Dee Dee, but this isn't a puzzle to solve. Don't even try." The fact that they are letting Lupe and Mark back into Canada means that the rest of us can go about our lives, I guess. I was able to swing a couple more days with work with this family emergency / government agents treating the Menendez household like we're flight risks. But yeah, I have to get back to Orlando too. Mom seems to want to tell me more. Maybe I have to turn on the baby status a little more before I have to leave. Is that what you would do? Pretend in order to get what you want? You suck at lying, though, Junie. They must have taught you good back at CIA school.
Voice note sent.
So, I just looked up what the CIA school is. Turns out there's some memoirs and stuff. And it's called The Farm. I'm sorry.
Voice note sent.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to say earlier. That's totally fucked up. Even if you do have Havana syndrome, you're totally within your right to quit a screwed up system like that, Junie. Good for you.
Voice note sent.
I've got 3 hours of driving to get through, so you're getting my commentary every time I decide to stop and pee, okay? Yeah, left me and my tiny bladder up. I'm not the one who moaned and groaned about kidney stones when you were addicted to Arizona iced tea. At least I hydrate properly. Okay, so I'm heading back home. Before I left, Dad pulled me aside. I think the pouting worked on the wrong parent. He told me that Lupe knew where you were last seen, and it wasn't Phnom Penh. He said Lupe wouldn't tell him, but she did tell the officers that came by. I knew it. I knew Lupe knew something. So where do you go, Junie? That is probably up to his eyeballs in back channels. He's retired, but you know him. He knows everyone. He's a human Rolodex. And before you tease me about my age again, I know what Rolodexes are. You and Lupe watch too many reruns of the X-Files. Weirdos.
Voice note sent.
No, I am not peeing. I forgot to download my driving playlist, so you get an early check-in. I've been thinking, in the hour I drove in silence, about the whole thing that Mom likes to say about us kids. That of her 3 kids, Dimitri would be the one who would live in the same state as his parents. Guadalupe would be in the same country, or I guess in this case the same continent. And as for Juniper, she'd joke, Junie, we would never know where in the world is Juniper Menendez. Moving around all over the place has had an impact on all of us. What if this is part of that? To the extreme. Something to think about on these flat-ass Florida roads.
Voice note sent.
Well, I'm back home, and don't worry, I've asked my roommates if any of them have encountered any men in black since I've been gone. They haven't. So that's good, at least. And Rachelle works from home, so that means she would have seen anyone try to pull up and plant bugs or whatever in the house, right? Ugh, God, is this what the whole thing is going to be like now? Constant paranoia? I guess we got a little bit of that home training with Dad and his special forces. Constant vigilance. But you don't think the CIA would, have some kind of surveillance van outside that could hear me, right? Great, all those X-Files episodes are coming back to me. They would have better surveillance tech in the year of our Lord 2024, wouldn't they?
Voice note sent.
I gotta go finish unpacking. I've got work in an hour. It'll be good to get my mind off of everything. Not that I'm giving up on looking for you, Junie. I think I need to think about strategy. This isn't my wheelhouse, but I really do want to help. Maybe if you can give me a hint, a sign, something? Love you, Junie. Bye.
Voice note sent. Message.
So, that's it? That's all they sent us?
Hey, it's a lot, considering. 4 out of 5 of them have security clearances, and the youngest brother is incredibly online.
I mean about Juniper Menendez.
You know how these operation officers are. Interagency cooperation, what's that? A security compromise. A privileged peek into their secret club.
Jealous how you really feel about the spooks, man.
Look, they wanted us to check on the family. See if Menendez reached out to them before she went AWOL.
Do we have any contact other than the voicemail? Any POI?
Yeah, that's the thing. The CIA only gave us the audio file. Strictly M4A. No point of origin.
Okay. What do they expect us to do with it if they won't tell us where she sent the message?
Considering the content of the message, the assumption is Cuba.
I mean, sure.
And the good news is we have the authorization to monitor the family for any future contact. At least one of them know more than they let on about Juniper's situation.
They're all citizens, though, save for the Canadian, Guadalupe's husband. If the CIA knows Juniper is in Cuba, what's the point of looping in the FBI? Who's taking point on the investigation? Us or them?
I know it's your first month in the JTTF.
Yeah, don't remind me. I know. We focus on any crossover between our playground and theirs.
And after that?
Follow-ups if we're lucky.
Great, so you're up to speed. We share what Guadalupe Menendez told us. This supervisor they sent us from Langley runs it through the other agencies. We maybe get our memo tossed in the mix.
And we only see a piece of the puzzle. Well, if you ask me, we should have kept the family at arm's distance. We're gonna have a hell of a time parsing out their involvement, if any, now that they know we're watching.
Oh, no doubt. CIA wanted to spook them and make our jobs harder. But that's the beauty of a joint terrorism task force. The bosses are the ones who actually have to cooperate. Don't take it personal.
Kinda defeats the purpose of the J and JTTF, doesn't it?
Sir.
Stand down, soldier. I already have a brief at the Pentagon today. I don't need the reminder that I'm about to be surrounded by cowboys.
We're discussing the Menendez case. Anything else you think we should know before we contact the regional offices?
Nope. Their agents should be prepped. The family's probably already in contact with a lawyer. It's gonna be a few days before we get an update. You have full reign on this.
Inside our national borders?
I wouldn't dream of hamstringing your efforts like that. No, you are free to see where this leads. Even our friends in the Great White North are prepared to receive you, if that's what you so choose.
Banff is lovely this time of year.
Wait, hold on. Then who's covering Cuba?
That's my jurisdiction for now. Have you gone through the details of Menendez's leave?
Yes. The brief should be in your inbox.
Anything of note?
Most of her vacation was with family, either in England or Florida. Nothing to indicate that she had any other ties.
What about this personal leave request?
It was for a family visit in Canada, sir. However, there is evidence she visited an ear, nose, and throat clinic. 4 days, in and out. Stayed at her sister's house. No record of any other contact.
Sir, the sister, Guadalupe Menendez, said Juniper told her that her leave covered a trip to Cuba.
And how exactly do you think she got to Cuba?
Well, according to the file, it was approved by Juniper's office, sir.
When was this?
Just a sec. Let's see. September. Just after Labor Day.
So amend the regional office's prep docs. The sister and her husband have the go-ahead to Canada. You can keep an eye on them from there. Have you found out about any ailments Juniper might have been dealing with in the last year? Migraines, tinnitus, nausea, that kind of thing.
We already went through her last PHA. MHA 2.
So did I. And she passed all physical and mental assessments with flying colors. Before this trip to Cuba. Timeline, boys and girls! Get the timeline. What are they teaching you at Quantico these days?
What are you thinking?
Miss Juniper Menendez, a United States intelligence officer, was authorized to travel to Canada and somehow made it from there to Cuba. And she did not get that authorization from me.
Dimitri Menendez is played by Ralph Ruiz. Guadalupe Menendez is played by Adriene Arce. Rachelle Bhatia is played by Jasmine Lynn. Special Agent Celia Whittiker is played by Whitney Johnson. Special Agent David Foreman is played by Brendan Adams. The Supervisor is played by Scott Welnosky. Havana Syndrome is written and produced by Lisette Alvarez. This is a Stormfire Productions podcast. Thank you for listening.